What's up, everyone? Welcome into Mikey's Boardroom. I'm Mikey.
I'm Crissa.
And this is our boardroom. Tonight we're going to be filming an update on our collection for the month of September. So basically Kickstarters that we've backed and pledge managers that we've completed or late backed or anything. And then what we bought, just like retail games that we've bought, and then what we're getting rid of from our collection to kind of update all 20 of you on what we got. So you have no idea, right?
Nope, no idea.
No idea. So I'll be basically telling her as I tell you everything that we got.
Yep.
So let us start. So the first game that we backed, and actually the only game that we backed this month, is called Mythic Mischief, and I'm sure most people know that game. It's from Ivy Studios, and basically it is a game where you're playing as 7 different factions that all have different powers.
Okay.
You're like playing in like a school, like all these different classes or cliques in a school.
Okay.
And let's see, we scroll down to where it has all the different factions. Let's see, there's everything that's in the box. Here we can see it here.
So fast.
I was just getting to the part. Zombies.
Okay.
Wizards.
Okay, I can get behind the wizards.
Witches. Not so much on that one.
Although aren't wizards and witches like
the same thing? Remember Twitches though? Disney Channel Twitches.
Yes.
It's
I
sister,
forgot
and they
about
were
that. Yeah.
twin witches.
That was good. Terrible.
You can be ghosts,
Okay.
vampires,
Okay.
trolls, and Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
So you basically play as those 7 different factions that all have different abilities, and you are going around the board, and you basically want to try and make your opponent get caught by this tome keeper here that moves around the board.
It's like chess.
And no. He moves around the board, and you want to try and use your abilities to push the other person into getting caught by the tome keeper.
Okay.
Well, you don't get caught by the tome keeper.
Okay.
And I believe you like go around and grab stuff to upgrade your powers and stuff that you have. And I think it's like the first person to get 10 mischief points wins.
Okay.
So
I could see that being fun.
Yeah.
I could see it being fun.
It's got minis. Little minis here.
Okay.
It's got like quirky.
Just watching the little video of what's his name, the Tome Keeper.
The Tome Keeper.
Tome Keeper, like gives me a little bit of anxiety. Like he's
boom,
gonna get me.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it gives me a little bit of like
so
that
like
anxious feeling.
The library is ever changing, so like the board changes and creates new places where you have to try and get to.
Okay.
Things to get around as he moves around, and you kind of like throw the other people or work the other people, use abilities.
The idea of it sounds fun.
Yeah, so
I'll give you that.
Get mischief points. Action tracking dice. Do you know what that is?
To track your actions.
You don't know what that is? I don't know what that is either.
Because they track your actions.
Exactly. So why do you think I backed it?
Because you thought I'd like the idea behind the wizards and all that.
And like the school, like Harry Potter-esque, right?
And the mischief. Is that why?
No, you had nothing. You had nothing to do with it. You didn't even enter my brain. No, I thought you might like it. This one, actually, honestly, I probably wouldn't have backed if it wasn't for the overwhelming positive like previews and reviews that I saw for it.
Okay. I was gonna say, this seems like a game you wouldn't back. Yeah,
but like tons of different people were just raving about how good it was. And on top of that, Ivy Studio just did a game more recently, I believe, called Moonrakers. That's supposed to be really, really fun. And they make like high quality games with quality components. So I was kind of like, I'll just go for it.
Yeah, why not?
But either it's good, and that's why everybody was raving about it, or they just spent their marketing budget really, really well, and I fell for it. But a lot of people did. This raised like $500,000 almost. So, how many people? 5,000 backers basically. So, it looks like a fun game to me.
Looks like a lot of pieces.
Yeah, it looks that big.
Yeah.
But its late pledges, I believe, are opening up. They opened them up. I think they opened them, and then there was problems, so they had to close it again. I don't think it's open again yet. But that is the one and only game we backed on Kickstarter in the month of September. Okay. So I did pretty good there.
Yeah, except what else did you spend the rest of the budget on? It's only good if you didn't spend it all.
Moving on to the pledge managers that I completed. So this is previous games I backed that I finished out the pledge managers on.
What does that mean? You finished
you back a game, and then you put the money towards it, and then once the campaign's done, a few months later, they open up a pledge manager where all the money you spent is like turned into credits on that other site, It's kind of weird how it works, but turn into credits on this other site for how much you pledged during the campaign.
Okay.
And so then you can either get the same thing you bought. So say, like, let's just move on to the next one and I'll explain it better.
Let's put a pin in it.
Let's put a pin in it. It's a great idea. So the next game, the first game that I completed the pledge manager for is the Witcher Old World.
Okay.
Not a surprise to you.
You've been talking nonstop about Witcher.
Yeah, I've been talking about Witcher.
For months.
So basically on Kickstarter, the way it worked is I bought just the base pledge for Witcher. Mm-hmm. And then a few months later, they opened up the pledge manager for Witcher, where I could have gone in, not paid a cent, finished out, or paid for shipping basically, finish out the pledge and be done, base game's coming towards us. But you can also upgrade your pledge and give the difference that you owe to get the better pledge basically. So it's kind of a way to, if you're irresponsible, you look at it like, I can buy this game in 2 hefty payments. And that's kind of what I did.
With no interest.
No interest. I just gave them an interest-free loan. How great of a deal is that for me? So Witcher, I originally backed at the base pledge, and then the pledge manager came around and I upgraded it to the all-in. Okay. With the big one. Okay. So let's scroll down here real quick. And let's just go through some of the monsters. So basically it's an adventure game with deck building mechanics included into it, where you're moving around. You have a Witcher and you're moving them around the board, or a mage, I guess, a Witcher or a mage. Okay. Moving them around the board, and you are upgrading that character and fighting monsters, and you can fight other players. There's story cards that you get. You can play dice, poker, slaying different monsters, and you're trying to slay a bunch of different monsters to win the game. Okay. And I'm trying to find a picture of the board.
Basically just like the show.
Sort of just like the show, yeah. Exactly. It's got the Wild Hunt expansion. It's got these 3 different expansions. And it's got a ton of different
So when you say you went all in, did you get all of those expansions?
I got the expansions. I did. I did the gameplay all in, not the all in. So I didn't get the metal coins. We can use cardboard. I didn't get the neoprene mat because I don't care about neoprene mat, and I didn't get the dice set, the extra dice or whatever. Okay. But I got the base game or the deluxe base, which comes with all the monster miniatures, and then the add-ons. So why did I get the add-ons? I wanted all the monster minis first, and then I wanted this expansion. This is the only one I wanted, but I backed it to get the other expansions just so that I could kind of cover it for the channel, and so that we could experience it. And I figured
the channel,
it was for the channel. I mean, there's 20 of you. I gotta
please you.
Exactly, gotta please all you. But that's it. So the Mages expansion and the Skellige expansion, I don't really care about.
How do you say that?
Skellige.
Okay.
Especially Skellige, they haven't really covered what that is, and it kind of could just be a complete letdown of an expansion. That's sort of what worries me. I think a lot of people were on the fence about this expansion and this expansion. Maybe not this one. This one had there was a bunch of drama because in the base game, you couldn't play as a female. Okay. And so
I vaguely remember you talking about that.
A certain group of people didn't like that.
Yeah.
And a certain group of people didn't really care. Okay. But basically, they came out with the mage expansion where there's female mages to play with. And in the Witcher universe, there's no female Witchers. So there was a whole fight on both sides of keeping to the lore and changing the lore to be inclusive. And
they pushed over?
And we're not... You might say that. Some people would disagree. We're not getting into that. But yeah, that's it. So I'm trying to find a good picture of the map. I might have scrolled past it. Here's all the stretch goals. Lots of different miniatures. But basically, late pledges are still up now. If anybody wants to late pledge, it's a lot of money though. But everybody also raved about this game, saying that it was really, really good, and people that I trust as well that I think weren't just saying it. Okay. So that is The Witcher. We're going to be getting a lot of plastic here.
Yes, we are.
And I think you'll like it because it's got the story cards. You go around.
There's a lot of things you can do.
A lot of things you can do.
Is it as involved as War of the World? No.
War of the World?
War of the Ring?
War of the Ring, no. It's not that complicated at all.
Okay, because that's like what I see when you're scrolling.
War of the Ring is nothing. War of the Ring is a war game with like the whole Fellowship of the Ring thrown in there. This is not a war game at all.
It looks like all of this stuff.
It's got lots of like minis and stuff, but it's not going to be like War of the Ring at all.
Okay, good.
All right, moving.
I like Lord of the Rings. I don't like the game.
Okay, so that was the first chunk of my monthly budget.
Okay.
Second chunk of my monthly budget here is Mythic Battles Ragnarok. This is the other Pledge Manager that I completed with an asterisk because I might get more before it closes. But Mythic Battles Ragnarok is a skirmish game where you build your army. Basically, there's a bunch of different units, and you pick all the different units that you want to use.
Okay.
You have like a certain amount of points you can spend. Each unit's worth a certain amount of points. So you buy units back and forth. You draft them until your team's done. And each unit brings different abilities and characteristics in the way that they play. And so different combinations will mean that your team will play differently.
I already feel like I'm not gonna like this game.
You don't like skirmish games typically, so that's what
I'm
worries
already
me a little bit.
turned off.
But you did like Summoner Wars, so that gives me hope. But the other thing that gives me hope.
Oh, that might have just been because I was better than you.
You might be better. You might be better than this. But this one is Mythic Battles Ragnarok, which is all like the Norse gods. So
I mean that entices me.
So we got these are all the different stretch goals. We got Bodvar.
What is that word?
Bodvar Bjarki.
No,
before
that.
Frigg?
Stretch goals?
Stretch goals.
What is
so that is like we're just explaining Kickstarter campaigns in general here. That is when a company runs a campaign. They have like the game, and then if they need a funding level to make this game, so say like $200,000. So once they hit $200,000, the game's funded, everybody's getting the game, great. And then if people keep buying into it, it's like now because we have $240,000, so everybody gets this miniature too, and everybody gets we hit this, and everybody gets this. So this like here, $1.48 million. Everybody unlocked this, which was an extra thing. $1.52 million, everybody got this extra character. Okay. So these are all different characters that you can play with and buy onto your team to skirmish with.
Stretch goals.
Stretch goals.
I get it.
They're all sort of BS. Oh. Companies kind of like have an idea how much the game's going to make anyway, and then they have what they're making, and they kind of like make it look good. But so like this game did have legitimate, like once this was their last planned thing, but the game raised, almost $2.5 million up here. I don't know where it is, but so all these Baldur, Sif, the pole marks, and then Idun. Okay. Those were all unplanned stretch goals that they're like, hey, like we're still making a lot of money over what we planned. So there are legitimate stretch goals for some companies. Okay. But I basically backed this at the War of the Gods level, which buys the base pledge for Ragnarok, and then it also buys the base pledge for their previous game, Mythic Battles Pantheon, and that is instead of all the Norse gods like Thor and stuff like that, that is the I'm trying to say all the Greek gods. Okay. So like I don't know.
I like the Greek gods.
I know you like, and I know you like Norse gods too. So I thought that might win you over. Okay. So that's the pledge that I originally went with. I'm trying to get past this so I can show you the.
I like the mythology.
So yeah, the Norse god, and then the Greek gods. So this is the one I did here, War of the Gods. Get both games, and that comes with. So here's the pledge. It comes with Freya, Hel, Thor, Loki. Sorry for the cut there. We got kids and all that. It's inevitable. But I was saying something. Where was I? I was looking at this.
You're talking about all the different ones in there.
Okay, yeah. So this is the base pledge. You get lots of different minis. You get 4 different maps, dice, cards, all that stuff. And then in the pledge manager, so I got the base game for both. Okay. Pantheon and Ragnarok. In the pledge manager, I upgraded to basically the gameplay all-in for Ragnarok, which gets all the different expansions, all the different gameplay items, but it doesn't get like the dice tray and the extra dice and stuff like that. But I got all the gameplay stuff for it. Plus, I also got a couple of the expansions for Pantheon. So I got the Hera expansion, the Hephaestus.
I think you said it right.
Hephaestus. That expansion, then here's the Trojan War expansion, which get different Greek gods and stuff like that. And it also adds a couple different game modes, like a cooperative game mode where we can play together rather than skirmish. And then just more troops to buy, essentially, is what I got.
Hooray.
So why did I get that? Why do you think I got all that?
I think you got it because it looks like it's going to be popular and because you thought I might like the Greek and Norse.
That's exactly right. It's like supposedly one of the best skirmish games out there. Very popular, very highly regarded. And I know that you like Norse and Greek mythology. So it seemed like a good skirmish game for us to go at.
Yeah, it seems like a great idea.
So what worries me about this whole thing is it just seems like it's a lot, and it worries me that we're even gonna be able to play all that, make use of all that content.
Yeah.
How much trouble will it be? Also, how much trouble will it be in terms of setting it up and breaking it down with all the different miniatures that we have, and you can combine Greek and Norse. So that's kind of another reason I got both, is that you don't have to just like what are we playing tonight? We're just playing with the Norse mythology, or we're playing with the Greek mythology. You can combine both, so you can take Thor, you can take why can't I think of any Greek gods? What's a Greek god?
No, my brain's tired.
What's the guy with the trident? What's the guy with the trident? Blank.
If you ask me a straight
he's
question,
like
I just
Poseidon.
Go
Poseidon, and like Hercules and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's Greek.
You're welcome.
It just worries me having all those, and even like the logistics of putting all that out for us to pick and then playing. Mm-hmm. So that's what worries me, is just all that content set up and breakdown. But value-wise, it seemed like a safe pledge, and even if stuff doesn't get used, I think we'll be able to sell it okay without losing too much money.
We'll see.
That's the hope. Late pledges are open for that still, I think, for the rest of the year. So before December is over, I may get 1 or 2 more expansions. We'll see.
Oh. I already can tell I'm not gonna like this game.
You don't know anything about it. You know
that I can tell pretty well if I'm gonna like something.
Odin's on a horse.
Oh, you're right.
And there's 100% a Valkyrie.
Gonna like it.
And Ragnar Lothbrok.
I think they say Lothbrok in the
Ragnar Lothbrok. And look at that.
But I don't know.
There's like a sneaky snake in the grass.
Convinced me.
So that is all the pledge managers that we completed this month. Okay. And late pledges. Well, we didn't do late pledges, but all the pledge managers we completed. Okay. So let's move on to retail purchases that we made. So the first retail purchase we made is one that we actually pre-ordered a couple months ago, but the Loop.
Wow, that's got an 8.
An 8 out of 2. How many ratings? Where is it at?
I don't know.
It's on here somewhere.
See.
426 ratings. And it's best at 2, they say. 11 people say it's best at 2, so not a lot of ratings. I heard great things about this game. I had a good rating, so I pre-ordered it. Got it on their second print run. Gameplay's up on our channel. Check it out. And we have a review going up this week. It's probably up there by this time now, if you're watching this. So check out both those to see what we think about it. Not much to say. It's sort of like it's got deck building mechanics, and you are trying to stop the villainous Dr. Foe.
Yes, you are.
Not much to say there, but good purchase. Check it out on our channel. The second game that we bought, retail, is Arboretum. Arboretum is a card game. We bought it because somebody on the channel actually recommended it, and it's a pretty quick game. Yeah. It's very fun. Quick. I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's surprising how quick it is. Like, you're like, oh, shoot, it's over.
Exactly. It ends before you're ready.
Yeah.
We've only played it a few times now, as of now, but I really, really like it so far. You're basically building different paths with out of tree cards.
It's pretty.
It's sort of like the tree is the suit, and you're trying to build paths of that suit. And, well, really you're trying to build paths out of the numbers going up, and then you count points for the suit. It's sort of complicated, but it's just
it's more complicated than you would think it would be.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot to think about. There's the numbers on the cards. There's the suit of the cards, the species.
What the other person's doing.
What the other person's doing. You have to gain the right to score that suit, meaning keeping cards in your hand. Basically, every turn you take is full decisions. Yep. From the moment you draw, from the moment you're looking at, do I draw from the discard or the draw pile? You have very meaty decisions to make every single turn. So. Yeah. If you like that type of game, it's good for you because
it's heavy. It's heavy for such a small game.
I wonder what the weight rating. Not that I take any stock in the weight rating on BGG, but I wonder. That's too far. No, it's not. I wonder what the 2.16. So that's not very meaty at all in there because it is very light. Weird. Like it is a lighter, quick game, but it's just.
I feel like the more we play, it might get.
It's just that every turn you have a lot of decisions to make, so it's not overly complicated in the rules. It's just that every turn you have. It's very crunchy, as they say.
I haven't heard that.
Okay, that is Arboretum. The next retail purchase we made is Kemet, Blood and Sand. And that one is coming, actually. It's arriving tomorrow.
Ooh.
So it's an Egyptian-themed area control game.
kind of like that.
And I'm not sure how
Except
good...
it's area control.
I'm not sure how good it is at 2 players. I'm not sure how good it is. I don't even think this is the right one that I pulled up. It says Kickstarter edition. Anyways, I'm not sure how good it is at 2 players. I'm pretty sure it's not recommended by a majority of people at 2 players. But I kind of wanted to get it, see how it is. It looked fun. I didn't really care what the recommendation was. And I also have, there's another game I have coming called Ankh, and that won't be coming for a little bit, but that's also an Egyptian themed game. Okay. So I kind of want to be able to compare this one to that one, see which one I liked better. Okay. Because they're...
And what do you do in Kemet? Like, what's the point?
You basically are different Egyptian gods, and you're trying to fight for control of Egypt, I guess. Okay. By like battling the other players that are playing. Okay. So there's like abilities and stuff like that. I haven't read the rule book or anything, but it is supposed to be fun.
Okay then.
All right, that's Kemet. So then the next game that we are getting is Obscurio. And I'll let you talk about this one.
I don't
this is her pick of the month.
I picked it, but I don't remember.
This one is also not recommended, like heavily not recommended at 2 players.
Is it really?
76.9% people say it's not good at 2 players, and that's because it's a hidden role sort of trader game. So like you have a group of people working together, but one person is like not really on your side. So at 2 players, I think there's an AI that we play with, but I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Yeah, I almost said something, but at the end of the day, I figured, I don't know. I don't take a lot of stock in the BGG stuff anyway. Nothing against them. I don't know. We have our own way that we play games. Yeah. We have our own way we enjoy games, and we don't enjoy games just because of the game. We just like having fun together. Yeah. So she was interested in it, and so that was enough for me to be like, let's just get it and see how it is. Yeah. And just kind of see how it is at 2 players. Why not?
And we can make your parents play with
Exactly.
us.
That's another thing, is that it's very, very light and very easy.
Yeah, age 10 plus. Look at that.
So we can always try and get in my parents or some other people to try and play and experience how I play accounts. So that is why we got Obscurio. But basically, you're like going around a library trying to escape the library, I believe, with the other people but one person. Okay. So the last game that we bought last month, it was, of course, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
What?
We hadn't played this one yet. It's a dungeon crawler. Very, very popular, and also, as you can see, very highly regarded. A little bit more complicated based on that scale, but we basically bought it because I recommended it to some friends, and they tried to play it and never got it or anything. So I felt bad and I felt guilty.
Because they didn't know where to start.
They didn't know where to start. It just seemed too much.
A lot of stuff.
It was just too much. So I felt bad, and I wanted to get it so we could kind of bust into it and help them through it. So we still have yet to do that. But that was the idea. But another reason I wanted to get it and play is because I want to see how she likes dungeon crawlers. Because this was like $30 when we got it. And I'm getting a few off Kickstarter, and I have more just on my general wish list. So I kind of wanted to break the ice with this one, see how you like dungeon crawlers, see if you even enjoy them before I get any bigger ones or more expensive ones or anything like that. So it was kind of two birds. But I mean, almost everybody knows Gloomhaven, I'm sure. It's like the #1, the original, or the normal, or the Gloomhaven, not Jaws of the Lion, but Gloomhaven is like the #1 game on BGG.
Is it?
Overall, so it's very popular.
That's funny.
Frosthaven, I think is the highest funded Kickstarter, and that's like the sequel to Gloomhaven. I think it's the highest funded. So this is sort of a smaller Gloomhaven that's supposed to kind of get you in the flow of it before you jump into Gloomhaven, since it's such a big game.
Well, let's give it a go.
So yeah, got to give that a go. So those are the games that we bought, backed, and completed.
Back completed.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast. So the last game, or the last thing we'll move on to, is what's leaving our collection. And if you've been following our channel, these two will not be a surprise at all. Cryo is #1. We have a review up on our channel if you want to see how we feel about it. But it's basically just, long story short, not a game for us. It's too dry, it's too shallow, and we just don't enjoy it, her especially. The second game that's leaving our collection is Renature. I enjoyed Renature.
Glad to see them go.
Her not so much. You can also see our review. We have a gameplay up of it as well. But basically, long story short, for me, there's just not enough lasting power there for me to even fight to keep it in our collection. And since she doesn't like it, I'm not gonna make her play it, and I'm not gonna make her sit there and hate the evening while I'm just like, this is so fun. So that's the biggest reason. But also, there's just not enough there for me to want to pull it out
Boring.
time after time. That's her thoughts on it. See our review. But that's it. That's our collection update for September. So that is everything we're going to be getting, and also that we're getting rid of. So if you want Cry or you want Renature, hit us up. We can make trade or something. They're great games. They're great games. I keep hearing that noise. I think it's a tree. When I was standing on the porch.
We keep hearing a really weird
I keep hearing
noise outside. And it's not a noise we've heard before.
Yeah. So yeah, that is everything. So thank you so much for watching. We got lots of videos up. We're going to be trying to put out more videos, trying to do one every week or a couple every week. So thank you so much. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe, that like, that comment button, or just if nothing, thanks for watching. And go out there, be kind to someone, and
God bless.
God bless.